Hey guys, what's up? It's TheThirdKnight here. I've got a lot of stuff to get through in this video, so feel free to just play this in the background or whatever. But basically, I'm going to be talking about a new video series as well as EoC versus 07, just my opinion on it, and yeah, I'll actually get into it. I won't say anything more. So the new video series I'll be making is going to be called PvE Arbiter. The aim of this series will be to get the best armor and equipment in the game on the 2007 servers, that is, and I'll be able to obtain this armor through any player versus enemy situation. So that includes pking and PVM, hence the name. I can sell Slayer loot or pking drops and any of that sort of stuff, so I can use that to save up for the items in the armory and then buy them. So it's very similar to the PVM Pro series I made and have not forgotten about or finished for the EoC servers. Now, I came up with the name PvE Arbiter because I like the word Arbiter. It's kind of cool, but if anyone comes up with anything better, I would be happy to change it to that. So the full list of items I will be aiming for are a full Zammy book, Barrows gloves, fighter torso, ancient spell book with the Ice Barrage spell with ability to cast Ice Barrage spell, lunar spell book with ability to cast the Vengance spell, full Dharok, full Guthans, a black mask, Abbysal Whip, Helm of Nezti knot, Fire Cape, God Cape, Torag legs, full Veracs, Karils top and bottom, rune boots, Dragonfire shield. Oh, sorry, not the Dragonfire shield. I'll talk about that later. Ahrims, full Ahrims minus the staff, and Amulet of Fury, Archer's ring, Seers ring, Berserker ring, and Mage's book. Sorry, Berserker ring that was. I will add a Dragonfire shield if I get 75 defense later on, but at the moment I'll be sticking to my original goal of being a Barrows pure. Just to answer why I want to be a Barrows pure, I like hybriding and being able to hit max hits as well as Dharok fights and all that good stuff. I think that being a Barrows pure, you get all of the best PKing with the added advantage of less defense in low wieldy situations. So that obviously keeps your combat level lower and you can fight people with hopefully less higher hitting combat stats, as well as almost a certain guarantee that people will be risking more valuable items on average. So yeah, that basically explains it a bit. Got nothing against anybody else who makes any other sorts of pures. I think that, one defense pures and stuff like that would be a huge amount of fun, and I would definitely consider making one of those at some stage a lot later on though. If there's anything, if you think I've missed any items that I could add to the armory, I'll add them on for next episode, so just leave a comment with that. Just while I'm introducing this series, I'm going to put it out there that the word Armoury is spelt with a U in Australia, whereas, well, an O and a U, whereas it only has an O for American spelling. So for any grammar queens out there, that's why it's there. It's not a spelling mistake. So yeah. Now, while I'm introducing this new video series, I thought it would be a good time to answer a question a lot of people have been asking me. And that is, will you be playing EoC again or making EoC videos? A very big question, and I've got a lot to talk about with this. Basically, the answer to that is not for a month at least. Please hear me out on this. I know it's a very touchy subject because it does create a divide in the RS community, but basically at the moment I am having a lot of fun on the 2007 servers. They are based around the time I started getting into RuneScape a lot more, and so I have a lot of nostalgia and great memories playing with friends and playing RS in general at the moment in time the servers have just been set. Also, I have a lot of old friends checking it out, so it's been a lot of fun doing things with them just like I did 5 years ago. Another reason for my enjoyment is that EoC PKing is dead. My first ever YouTube videos were PK videos, and it was that part of the game that I enjoyed the most. That said, a lot has changed since then, and I now appreciate PVM and skilling a lot more, but 2007 PvP is something that I'm really looking forward to taking part in as soon as possible. So there's a lot I want to do so that I can get my account up to scratch to start PKing again, as well as check out the other bosses around 2007. At the moment, because the servers have literally just started and everyone has begun from level 3 with all level 1 stats besides HP of course, it's a hugely unique chance and opportunity to be able to play, and it's really cool. It also means that if I set myself up right now, if I set myself up correctly now, when it has all just begun, it will be a lot faster for me to achieve my goals that I want long term on the 2007 servers for my account. So basically at the moment I am trying to set up my account so I can PK and PVM on the 2007 servers comfortably with a decent sized bank and decent stats to do it with. I might, now I say I might because I'm not making any promises, I might play EoC later on when my account is set up on the 2007 servers for what I just mentioned, and the opportunity to race to high Slayer and get rare drops that, is, the opportunity is still there, you know, because it might not be available soon, you know, because the game will have been out for a while, you know, 07 servers, sorry, will have been out for a while. A few other reasons that I'm playing 07 for include the fact that when I log into the EoC servers and get my 3 spins, even if it was 2 and I didn't have the gold premier package, I get so much money for doing absolutely nothing, and also XP on top of that. I have been doing my player imports once a day on EoC, so that if I do, you know, make some EoC video later on like some big update or something like that, I have some decent equipment. And that has also meant me doing my 3 daily scroll spins, and it is just ridiculous the amount of free XP and money I've gotten from them and from doing that every day. And then if you factor in that every single member also gets that, then you can sort of see that there's absolutely tons of money coming into the game, and also free XP on top of that, which people haven't had to earn themselves at all. They've literally just gotten it from paying for membership. The big problem is there's no money sink in the EoC, so once the money is there, it's extremely hard to lose. One of the things that gets people playing MMORPGs the most is a sense of achievement and the ability to show off to other players around you, whether it is a skill cape or full bandos. People strive to get that so that they can, you know, achieve higher ranks and, you know, be more prestigious. And if it's not for that reason, it will just be because you maybe personally find a nice sense of achievement when you level up a skill or get some item. And I feel that has disappeared a lot in the EoC servers because it's so hard for people to actually die and lose their items. There's so much money coming into the game every day through Squill of Fortune as well as free XP. And also, I've never supported any microtransactions in games. I think that it's absolutely stupid that your real life wealth could trump other players in a game. I am sure a lot of people who play EoC would also agree the fact that, you know, microtransactions are stupid, but it's just a part of the game that 07 does not currently have. I think that a player's level of skill or ability to play the game should not be overtaken by players who are wealthy in real life but not necessarily good at the game itself. Even if the microtransactions are for purely cosmetic items, then I'm still strongly against them. At least the way, you know, they have implemented them into the EoC servers, where it's hard to tell, you know, what people are actually wearing. You know, I still like completely disagree with the cosmetic stuff because it is so hard to tell what people are actually wearing with all the armor overrides. That's another part of the whole MMORPG experience. You know, some people will want the best looking armor that doesn't necessarily have the good stats, or they'll have the best stats, the best armor with the best stats, and, you know, they'll be walking around and that'll be really awesome. But, you know, Solomon's Store's come along and completely taken that away, where you can just buy armor overrides that look pretty cool and you can have that on top, or you can just have it on top regardless and you can't even tell what people are wearing because there's so many different armor overrides that constantly keep coming out. So I just had a bit of a rant on the EoC servers. Now I'm going to back it up with some aspects of the 2007 servers that don't include all of that. Firstly, there is no microtransactions, which is brilliant. Secondly, if you die, all your stuff besides 3 items you protect on death, or 4 with protect item, or none if you're skulled, are immediately dropped onto the ground where you died. Everyone can see them and there is no gravestone. So any form of combat is so much more dangerous, and you really need to plan ahead and make sure you're ready, and, you know, because there's going to be such a big risk involved. Now, I am going to say it because it is really true. EoC has gravestones to an extent now where it is babied so much. The only way you would lose items in the EoC now is if you died, like, no matter where you died, anywhere on the entirety of RuneScape, is if you disconnected, or if you're brand new to the game or have completely forgotten how to get back, and a few other tiny things that could potentially go wrong on the way to getting back to your gravestone. So that adds a whole new level of gameplay and challenge to the 2007 servers that EoC servers don't currently have. I don't find games without a challenge enjoyable, and it would probably be the same for most people, I would imagine, which is another reason I have been playing the 07 servers. Skilling and any training on the 07 servers is so much slower because there aren't any big XP lamps that you get from doing random little things. You have random events which stop you from completely AFKing skills, you know, such as Evil Chicken or Evil Spirit Tree and stuff like that. You'll just get killed if you AFK, or, you know, your hatchet will break, or a fish is going to take your lobster pot. So all of that adds to the challenge and the sense of achievement. So when you go to Veracs West Bank and you see someone with a skill cape, you know they've really earned it. And, you know, it's something that's really special to have. Something that was put into the game and it's being used the way it was intended to be used. Other things like trading in general is so much more community based. you need to use forums or find people selling various items in the game. You can't just use a grand exchange to get all your items. You actually have to interact with the players. Another thing about the evolution of combat servers is that Jagex released them when they weren't ready. Like, whether you like it or not, they just were not ready. Going against the majority of the community, you know, most people did not want it to come out, and the community was 100% correct. The servers were not ready, and as a result, you could do things like camp God Wars Dungeon until you had max kill count with level 70 or 80 combat stats with no prayer potions or food. You can still do most of that anyway, and especially if you have full Tetsu or player-owned Port's armor and Drygors, you can just camp anywhere. Maybe not so much next, you maybe have to focus a bit more, but you know, you can still solo next, just get dual-wield Drygors, get full Tetsu on, your other player-owned Port's armor, and it'll be absolutely fine. It's so much easier, and that is the best, that is the hardest boss in RS. Anyway, maybe sort of cow fighting. Speaking of which, I personally think that it's absolutely ridiculous that you can get the very best armor in the game without entering any sort of combat or paying hundreds of millions of gold pieces for. So hopefully that's explained why I've been making 07 videos since the release of the 2007 servers, and hopefully it also explains why there are so many old YouTubers that have come back and other big YouTubers that have come and gotten into, you know, 2007 RuneScape now rather than before when there was when there was no 07 servers. Now, all of that is my personal opinion on how I like to play video games and the aspects I like most about RuneScape. I do not expect everyone to have that same opinion. It's just like some people, you know, some people like the color red, some people like the color blue. Everyone has their own opinions and views, so please just respect each other. Don't have arguments in the comments. Don't say, you know, you're an idiot, you play EoC, you're an idiot, you play 07. Just don't even bother having that, okay? That's bad. You just need to respect each other's opinion. It's part of life. You know, you'll meet people in life which have a different view on different things to you, and you just gotta respect that. Otherwise, wars and shit happen. So it's better if everybody just respects each other's opinion. If I had started playing RuneScape after the Evolution of Combat had just been released for the first time, I might have a different view on it all. But at the end of the day, people, you know, have their own opinions, so just respect it. I wasn't trying to have a go at anyone who plays the EoC servers in this part of the video. I was just purely trying to explain my thoughts on it all at the moment. And literally, that was just straight up from me to you guys on why I haven't played the EoC servers since the 2007 servers had been released. So yeah, basically in summary, I won't be making any EoC videos for at least a month or until I have my 07 account set up. And that's only if something big changes within that time on the 07 servers. I won't be deleting any of the EoC video series that I had going. What I mean by that is not the ones I have on YouTube. You know, I've been planning, you know, the future videos and stuff in those series. I'm not going to be getting rid of them or forgetting about them or anything. I just won't be making any more at the moment. And well, at least until, you know, there's a significant update or, you know, reason to play EoC, as I just talked about. Anyway, that was my rant on just EoC and 2007 servers, and that was to answer a lot of the questions that I've been receiving. So hopefully that clears that up for you guys. So basically, if you're here only for EoC videos, you know, obviously feel free to unsubscribe. I'm sure there's probably some other YouTubers who are still making EoC videos, so that's just my opinion and everything. I will, as I said, there might be a chance of me making EoC videos, but it's not going to be for at least a month, and yeah, the chances are still fairly low at that. So when I do actually make an EoC video, you can always just stay subscribed and you can just watch that, but you know, I won't be offended at all if you want to unsubscribe. But yeah, it's probably better to do that than watching, you know, 07 videos if that's not what you enjoy. You know, there's no point in watching a video if you're not actually gonna enjoy it and watch it properly. Like, yeah, it's just a waste of time. I don't know why you do that. Anyway, that's that. Getting back to PvE Arbiter, I managed to get my fighter torso last night, which is absolutely awesome. So I now have one item from the Armoury already. So that's really awesome. You could actually get the fighter torso in around 2 hours if you had a decent team and know what you're doing. Or it's going to take around 4 to 5 hours. That's my prediction anyway, if you're doing it with random people. The world for it is world 6. If you haven't played Barbarian Assault before, then I highly recommend you check out a guide first, or, you know, go through the in-game tutorial before trying to play. I am considering releasing a Barbarian Assault guide to my YouTube channel, and that would be kind of cool because I had, I had some cool people like teach me how to play a while back, and there's some really cool strategies and techniques that you can use to power through Barbarian Assault like really quickly. Obviously high combat stats will help a lot, but yeah, I'll probably wait until I get like a decent amount of friends doing Barbarian Assault and stuff, and wait till I've got them together, and then I'll make that guide, because making it with randoms would be a really big pain. But yeah, so if you do know what you're doing, it would definitely be best to get some friends together to do it, because it is actually really bad. Like, there's a lot of massive noobs on World 6. It's sort of like World 117 used to be for Dungeoneering. You get people that do one wave and then leave, or people that go AFK and don't call, and it's just a bit of a nightmare sometimes unless you get a decent team. Like, I was playing, I think I played in like 3 or 4 teams in a row where someone left before we even got up to wave 6, and there was people that just weren't even calling, which, for those of you who know Barbarian Assault, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, basically it's like the teammate that needs to do this one really simple thing on your team for you to get your fighter torso, he's not doing that because he doesn't know how to play. Hopefully that made a bit of sense. But yeah, so definitely get friends together if you know how to play. You get people, anyway, it's just it can be a bit of a nightmare, unless you do get a good team. But yeah, so I got my fighter torso, so I'm really happy about that. I want to go get a Salve Amulet E soon as well, so I can complete my Abbey Specs task I currently have, and I'll be happy about that, because until I get my Salve Amulet E, I'll feel like I'm sort of wasting a bit of time. Salve Amulet E has the same effect as the Black Mask, but it doesn't stack with the Black Mask, and it only gives the bonuses to undead creatures, so it will be really useful to have, and doesn't take too long to get. I think, well, Vegeton1, my old mate Vegeton1, he told me it took around 15 minutes to get if you go through the quest and everything properly, so that's not long at all, and it's going to be really useful considering that there is some tasks where you can't use a Black Mask anyway, such as Abbey Specs, where you have to have a nose peg on, so you'll be able to use the Salve Amulet E, and yeah, so that's really cool. That'll be really handy to have. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Sorry it's gone for so long, except there were some really important things I needed to address. If you have a better name for the series as well, feel free to tell me in the comments. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you next video.